Welcome to another series of explaining the difficulties with a used car here in India. One such difficulty is the fact that matters the most with the diesel used car owners, and I'm talking about DPF. It's called as diesel particulate factor. Today in this video, I'm going to be clearly sharing what is a DPF, how does the DPF system work, and what are the usual issues that occurs to people who are actually looking for a used diesel car, and what are the nitty-gritties involved with having if the DPF is not fully properly functioned or functional. Okay, so first scenario what we will take here is to understand or probably understand what DPF is. DPF is nothing but diesel particulate filter. So what has happened is government has said that certain gases and certain emissions that come from the diesel are not supposed to be let out. Therefore, the OEMs have been mandated to put a filter that is called as diesel particulate filter. Now, this sits exactly in the exhaust system when the exhaust gases are moved out, and there's a filter in between. And once the gases move out, that filter kind of restricts a lot of soot and some of the gases which or the carbon dust that is there. That is basically the soot that gets collected in that particulate filter. Now, what happens here is usually, let's say we take a car, or let's take a used diesel car that is run in a city. Now, what happens is he switches on the car, he drives for maybe 5 to 6 kilometers, he shuts it down. For a proper regeneration of DPF to happen, the engine has to reach certain degrees of temperature. Now, when you're looking at a sparingly used car, what happens is that regeneration also doesn't happen, and what typically happens is that the engine itself doesn't get warmed enough for the DPF regeneration to happen. So therefore, what happens is the soot kind of forms more and more, and it kind of clogs their entire exhaust system. Now, when it clogs the entire exhaust system is where a lot of people start facing issues like, they're not getting proper mileage. There's a drop in mileage. There is a drop in pickup or throttle. There is, things like, what do you call? You're getting a lower fuel economy, and your pickup, like I said, it is not as good as it is supposed to be. Now, what happens is people think that these are signs of, what do you call, age damage, and they try to ignore all of this. What it actually leads to is, disastrous amount of issues and repairs. That is what people actually relate. Now, whatever, because of improper usage of DPF and because of improper regeneration of DPF, one thing leads to another, and end of the day it actually leads to a larger set of damages, which people think that, oh, it is because of DPS. Yes, definitely it is arised from the first signal for it is definitely from the DPF, but you ignoring the signs and then continuing to work with the car, and further on, just not even caring about the car is what is leading you to the ultimate issue. So we'll talk about each of these scenarios one by one. Now, as I said, the exact moment where people tend to start to see those signs like a lower drop in mileage, a lower drop in, there's a flat throttle response, etc. And sometimes the cars tend to go into limp mode, and then you switch off and switch on, it becomes normal. Now, why that happens? So, if you understand a DPF fitted car, now whatever soot is being accumulated as a part of DPF regeneration process, there is a process in which the DPF regeneration, what it happens is it basically tries to burn off the soot. Now, how that burning of the soot happens is towards the end of one's compression cycle, an extra amount of diesel is, what you call, fed from the ECU, and that burn reaches the temperature of that burn reaches the exhaust system near the filter, so that the whole system is so much heated and the soot literally starts breaking off or burning off. This is what happens. Now, if your soot or if your filter is super clogged and super, if the regeneration does not happen properly, if it is, clogged, what happens is this diesel that is, put extra doesn't, burn off completely and reach the exhaust system and increase the temperature. Instead, it tends to go back into the what do you call cylinder, and it tries to leak in through the what do you call edges of the piston and goes in directly to the sump, thereby diluting your oil. So if diesel gets into the oil sump, and basically the oil will get thinner, and therefore the whole lubrication, all of that process, what the oil is supposed to do, will actually start happening the opposite. Now that problem will start leading into, lower fuel economy. Maybe your response is not good, and you tend to, ignore all that and continue living with the car. That is where, it kind of leads into other major crashes and repairs. Like you will even have bearing damage. You will have the whole what do you call it can even lead to a proper engine failure itself. Now, when you're looking to buy a diesel car, always check the condition of the car. How good has it been used? Has it been only used in the city? Then yes, you have to check the DPF. Or has it been, used, what do you call, in the highway? If the maintenance, what do you call, intervals and service history, everything aligns, then go ahead and buy it. But again, my anchor is on, don't go for low run kilometer cars alone because the car has not run properly. I mean, car has not run much. Instead, look at cars that has run longer, at the same time maintain good, and also especially for diesel lookers, this is a very critical amount. Now, the range of cost that that cost for a DPF ranging from a small car like a Creta onwards to a luxury car, the range of repair starts from as low as 50 to 60,000 rupees, going as high as 2 to 2.5, 3 lakhs rupees. So when you get this as a shocker, it really is a shocker because it's a big sticker price for the part. Second, due to this, there will be other internal engine damages that has occurred, which would lead to one or the other problem. So you need to get a proper inspection done. Make sure if all of these things are done properly and if the regeneration has occurred properly, so that you don't get a chance on hitting up with surprise bills and stuff around DPF. And try to understand the whole DPF process in detail, so that even if you are using your car for shorter distance, you know exactly how to get the engine warmed up and ensure the soot is burnt off, so that you don't get stuck with these problems. These are for people who are actually using diesel, what do you call, cars on the road right now. And for buyers, look out for such an issue. Thanks.